Have about 3 weeks and a couple days to fill the walls of my favorite coffee shop with paintings. And I don't know if I'm going to be ready by then, especially because I do oil painting. So I thought I'd bring you along on the adventure. It's been really interesting. I've needed to take a break from just sort of everything for the last several weeks. So that's why I haven't been here, but I have just been trying still so hard to exist and to figure out what it means to just take a break and exist sometimes. Because I'm really good at just pushing and pushing and pushing toward a goal, but then inevitably, eventually I have another goal and I don't take a break to just be, and then eventually I hit the wall. And so I'm a little bit at a wall right now. We hosted a lot of people, and one of those was really a hard thing emotionally, which I talked about a few weeks ago in this video. I feel like we're sort of like emotionally recovering right now. When my coach Glow told me that I should spend some time just existing, because she could tell that I was really tired. I was discouraged with my entrepreneurial endeavors, and it's really a lot of work to have your own business and to try and figure out what your audience needs and stuff, and like what you actually want to talk about. Because like I could go back to being a virtual assistant. Hey, I'm doing a video. I knew how to make money that way, but you know, it's an hourly job, and there's ways to do virtual assisting without it just being like trading the hourly work for your time. Yeah, I think I got really burned out of that work, mostly because I'm a creative, really, at heart. The only thing I'm sure about in my life really sometimes is that yes, like art is something that I always want to be a part of my life, and like it can't not be a part of my life. Like beauty and finding beauty and seeing beauty in unexpected places is just a bit like what keeps me going. In virtual assistant work, there's just a lot of repetition and a lot of like me using my weaknesses instead of my strengths. It's like I'm capable, but it's not something that feels super like really natural for me. And I really, at some point in the last few years, I sort of hit a wall, I think because of ADHD and perimenopause, which I also talk about. I'll link that here because it happens a lot earlier for women with ADHD. Perimenopause symptoms do. And so a few years ago, I was just like, I can't do the virtual assistant work anymore. Like I just hit the wall. I just hit the wall with it, like, because it wasn't what comes easily to me. Like writing and painting and holding space, those things come easily for me. But figuring out how to make that into a career is challenging. If you're curious what I'm doing, this is acrylic gesso. And the reason that I am using acrylic gesso is because part of my style is very sculptural. Somebody called it that recently, and I was like, oh wow, yeah. Like, I really like my art to have texture, And I usually try to create that with the oil paint itself, but I have paintings that I did well over a month ago that are not dry yet. Since I am working on a deadline, which is good for me as a person with ADHD, I needed to figure out a way to give my art texture without having it take more than a month to dry. I am working on adding acrylic gesso texture. And then what I'm doing after this dries, which it takes like a day instead of a month. This is very much my style. Lots of colors that might be unexpected in different places and lots of texture. So that's speeding up my process, thankfully, because I want to have plenty of art available to sell and also just to display. I have a painting already at that coffee shop that my friends own. They became friends because I went there so often and I ordered so many birthday cakes from them. So art for me is one of the few activities in the world where I really feel like I can lose time. I mean, it's not easy as a mom of 5 to really make the kind of space for it that I would like. And like literally for many years, it was very hard to physically make the space because I do paint in oils and they don't dry. And so you really can't have little hands coming and touching your oil paints. So I really gave up on consistent painting for a long while there, and then we moved abroad. I'm always going to be doing creative things, having a creative outlet. And you know, the cool thing about photography is like most of my paintings are based on photos that I've taken or found. I have just zillions and zillions of photos of my efforts to find the beauty when life is hard and when life is not hard, just for fun. So anyway, you can see what's happening here, that this is going to be an ocean scene. These are cliffs, and I'm gonna let it dry, and then it's gonna have a lot of texture on it. So that should be fun. So here's the next one. I'm doing a lot of ocean scenes right now because the woman who owns the coffee shop said, you know, it's going to be tourist season. Like, people love to have something to take home to remember, you know, and that makes sense to me. Most of my photos in the last few years have definitely been of my beach town where I live. So, yeah, so that I think made a lot of sense. And so I'm focusing on smaller art mostly. That one was pretty big. I am just like also working with random canvases that I had around. I am doing lots of ocean scenes. The one that is in the coffee shop that gets lots of comments is an ocean scene. And if I have a picture, maybe I'll post it up there for you. I thought it was really good timing to come back to art. You know, I've never completely put it aside, but when you get really clear encouragement, and then when somebody offers to host an exhibition of your artwork, like just because they like your artwork and they want it in their cafe, I mean, you say yes. And so it's really good timing though, because art is very therapeutic for me, and it is something where I lose time, which I think is what I need right now. I really do think it's what I need right now. I'm just existentially tired, as I told a friend.